So you finally decided to buy some cast iron cookware. And then you start going online, looking at all these different options, or maybe you go into a store and you don't even know where to go. You don't even know what kind of pan you need. Do you buy a cheap one that might crack? Or do you buy a high-end fancy pan? Or do you buy a pan that ends up being heavier than a Buick? Here's the reality check. If you buy the wrong skillet today, you're gonna hate cooking in it tomorrow. And it's gonna end up in the back of your cabinet, and I'm not gonna let that happen. Most beginners walk into cast iron blind. They buy a pan because it says on sale or pre-season, like that's gonna matter. And maybe they're just overwhelmed with all the choices. You know, they see them online and they don't know where to start when it comes to cast iron cooking. And they just kind of get lost in the sauce. And what I want to achieve today is I want to teach you some simple things or just some guidelines that you can use to pick out your first pan. The real question isn't which skillet is the best. It's which skillet fits your cooking style. And in this video, we're going to talk about 3 things that are going to be instrumental for you picking out that first pan: size, shape, and style. So say you're cooking for 1 or 2 people, 10-inch skillet like this one right here. Something like this is good enough for 2 people. Otherwise, you know, you don't want to feel like you're swinging a manhole cover in the kitchen like this one. This is a 12-inch. So if you want to have that 1 to 2 person kind of skillet, 10-inch is what you want to do for sure. But if you're feeding a family of 4, or you just like leftovers like myself, 12-inch skillet like this Lodge right here, this is ideal for a larger family. So that would be definitely an option for you. Just so you know that if you do take this 12-inch pan and that's the one you buy, it is going to take up more stovetop space and cabinet space for that matter. So keep that in mind when you are making a purchase on your first cast iron skillet. Now let's talk shape. If you cook a lot of stews, a lot of soups and things like that, or do like a lot of braises, then you're probably going to want to consider getting an enameled cast iron shape, because obviously trying to cook a soup in this kind of pan or skillet is going to be a problem. And the great thing about enameled cast iron is that it's got this ceramic coating on there, so it's like your high-end ceramic cookware as the coating, but you get all the same heat benefits that you do in cast iron, so you can have that has a nice thermal mass, and you can cook your soups and things. In fact, I've kind of strayed away from using my traditional Dutch oven and moved to using the enameled Dutch oven for all the soups and things, because I noticed I was getting like a little rust line around the water line because I was doing just way too much liquid-based stuff in that. And this is just ideal if you just don't want to have all the cleanup and deal with the reseasoning and all that. But if you're a sear cook, fry some eggs, make some cornbread, then the traditional skillet size is the way to go for you. So finally, I want to talk about style. So is low and slow your gig? Cast iron. If you like to make cornbread and things like that, just straight up cast iron. And if you like foods that stick to the pan, well, still cast iron. Just got to watch my seasoning videos to figure out how to fix that problem. But if you want to boil water in your skillet, be my guest. That's on you. So here's your simple formula to picking out your first pan. A 10-inch skillet is ideal for beginners. It's a little easier to maneuver, and definitely good for like 1 to 2 people and all that. And then your second option would be, if you're cooking for a tribe, definitely go with the 12-inch skillet. And thirdly, if you're doing a lot of soups and braising like we talked about, then definitely I would consider getting into enameled Dutch oven cooking. And fourthly, if you may have some trouble with, say, like arthritis, or maybe your joints, you're getting up there in age per se, and it's not as feasible for you to get a heavy 14-inch Lodge or one of the main brands that are out there these days, then I definitely would consider just getting into carbonized steel. It's not technically cast iron, but it is a little bit lighter, and you treat it the same way that you do your traditional cast iron. You have to season it and do all that, but it does weigh, I've looked in comparisons, anywhere from 20-30%, sometimes even more lightweight than that versus cast iron. So that's it. No mystery, no folklore, just facts. The last thing in the cast iron community that we want to happen is for you to be new to cast iron and then you give up because someone didn't tell you the right pan to get. And so that's what the objective of this video is, and I hope it's helped you. And as always, thank you and God bless.